This is TWiT.
Speaking of The Guardian, their story, Astrophysicist gets magnets stuck up nose while inventing coronavirus device, caught my attention the other day. Shall I read it to you?
Oh, please
do.
It is an excellent story. Beautiful. Please.
An Australian astrophysicist has been admitted to hospital after getting 4 magnets stuck up his nose in an attempt to invent a device that stops people touching their faces during the coronavirus outbreak. Dr. Daniel Reardon, a research fellow at a Melbourne university, was building a necklace that sounds an alarm on facial contact when the mishap occurred last Thursday night. The 27-year-old astrophysicist who studies pulsars and gravitational waves says he was trying to liven up the boredom of self-isolation with the 4 powerful neodymium magnets. Stacey, how powerful are those neodymium magnets?
Very powerful.
Very powerful.
They can rip your intestines in two.
If you've ever had them, they're really fun to play with. But boy, when you put them close to each other, they go wham! He says, I have some electronic equipment, but really no experience or expertise in building circuits or things. I had a part that detects magnetic fields. I thought if I built a circuit that could detect the magnetic field and we wore magnets on our wrists, then it could set off an alarm if you brought it too close to your face. A bit of boredom and isolation made me think of that. However, The Guardian goes on, the academic realized the electronic part he had did the opposite and would only complete a circuit when there was no magnetic field present. I accidentally invented a necklace that buzzes continuously unless you move your hand close to your face, he said. So, after scrapping that idea, I was still a bit bored playing with the magnets. It's the same logic as clipping pegs to your ears, clothespins to your ears. I clipped them to my earlobes and then clipped them to my nostril, and things went downhill pretty quickly when I clipped the magnets to my other nostril. He said he placed 2 magnets inside his nostrils and 2 on the outside. I was hoping I could get through this. When he removed the magnets from the outside of his nose, the 2 inside, boom, stuck together. Unfortunately, the researcher then attempted to use his remaining magnets to remove them. At this point,
having researched, called somebody and said, "What do you do when this happens?" You use a magnet to get a magnet out. Oh, okay.
At this point, my partner who works at a hospital was laughing at me, he said. I was trying to pull them out, but there is a ridge at the bottom of my nose that you can't get past. After struggling for 20 minutes, I decided to Google the problem. There's his mistake right there. And found an article about an 11-year-old boy who had the same problem. The solution in that was more magnets to put on the outside to offset the pull from the ones inside. As I was pulling downwards to try and remove the magnets, they clipped onto each other and I lost my grip. And those 2 magnets ended up in my left nostril while the other one was in my right. At this point, I ran out of magnets. Probably a good thing. Before attending the hospital, Reardon attempted to use pliers to pull them out.
But
they became magnetized by the magnets inside his nose. Every time I brought the pliers to my nose, my entire nose would shift towards the pliers. And then the pliers would stick to the magnet. So he'd put them there and they go. It was a little bit painful at this point, he reports. My partner took me to the hospital that she works in because she wanted all her colleagues to laugh at me. The doctors thought it was quite funny, making comments like, this is an injury due to self-isolation and boredom. At the hospital, a team of 2 doctors applied an anesthetic spray and manually removed the magnets from Reardon's nose. By the way, it's not over quite yet. When they got the 3 out from the left nostril, the last one fell down my throat, he said. That could have been a bit of a problem if I swallowed or breathed in, but I was thankfully able to lean forward and cough it out. Needless to say, I am not going to play with the magnets anymore.
It is the greatest story, isn't it?
So, just a word of warning.
Kids, don't try this at home.